welcome to Movie Reviews by South of Normal with your host, me, Michael Soren. Today's episode, we're covering the episode 10 of Andor, and my God, it was quite an episode. Little disappointed in one little fact, so spoilers alert now. Spoiler alert now. Turn the F back if you don't want to hear any spoilers, because there's probably going to be some in this one, because it's kind of hard to do this episode without mentioning some things that are going to piss a lot of people off. So, spoiler. Watch later if you want to hear my take, or continue on if you don't mind spoilers. If you don't mind spoilers, hit me with a thumbs up down below in the comments. If you dislike spoilers, hit me up with a good old middle finger down in the comments as well. I think you can do that emoji. If not, just tell me what you think down below about the spoiler. Moving on. In this episode, we follow Keith getting, what's his name, Andy Serkis' character there, to break out of prison. Like, that they're gonna do it finally. Today's the day they found out they're not getting out. They found out that they're just gonna die in this hellhole, making these parts no matter what they do. So they put their plan into action. Today is the day upon new arrival. So they bust the water main, they flood the floor, the new guy comes down, and all hell breaks loose. They just go fucking nuts and just throwing things at guards, hitting them with pipes. They flooded the floor to short out the system. Only one dude gets killed that way. The funny thing about this is how the guards of the prison, Empire trained, still suck at shooting. They hit 2 out of 5,000 prisoners that you see. It's like 2 of them? You can only pick off 2 of them. You got the high ground, and there's 2 of them. And you only get 2. Whoever's in charge of marksmanship in the Empire, force choke him the hell out of there. Okay, but it was quite intense and it was a fun watch to see this prison break go down. How it's all like, you can tell the Empire's just not trained in disaster management, really. Like, everything's going to go the way they want, and then when it starts going awry, they kind of just freak out and don't know what to do. They have no disaster emergency plan. But then my bitch, the biggest disappointment in this episode I had was the fact that Andy Serkis' character there, I think it's Chloe, I have drawn a blank. Let me know what his name is in the comments and tell me I'm an idiot for not knowing. He gets out, they get to the final exit, and he can't leave. I understand there's some poetic justice behind it. Because he can't swim. They're in the middle of this lake. He can't swim, so he can't leave. Right now, it looks like his story's over. And it just, wah. I wanted more from him. He could have got out, been free, and just lived his life. You don't have to kill him. You don't have to do anything to write him off, because he's not in Rogue One. We know that. Maybe he'll come back later. But as of right now, that was disappointing to me. I understand from a writing aspect how that's a cool angle to have. This guy's been here. He's got 200 shifts left. He's so excited to get out. Finds out he can't leave. He helps wrangle him. Braveheart the men, talk him up, get him to execute this plan, get everybody out, except he's the only one who can't leave. And it looks like Cassian's about to help him or something, and he kind of just gets shoulder blocked into oblivion down into the water. But that's my bitch, is why couldn't he have gotten out too? Maybe we'll find out. Maybe something will come of that. I don't know. As of right now, I'm upset by that. Another plot twist moment, a Sophie's Choice kind of thing. The gangster comes in to help Mon Mothma launder her monies and figure out how to make it look like everything's above board for the Empire. Only he's got a 14-year-old son. She's got a 14-year-old daughter. Let's make them get married. And it's she puts on a front that she doesn't want to do it. And does she really not want to? Or is it more or less she's doing this to seem like she's being hesitation? I have to believe she doesn't want to do that because of her marriage with Perrin being such a crapshoot and how Perrin's just such a knob. and how her daughter already hates her. Unfortunately, I think they're going to go that route. So it's like an interesting, like, what are you willing to sacrifice for the rebellion moment? Like, it's fitting with our planet's customs and culture. Are we above that? Or are you going to just get caught by the Empire for what we know what you're doing? Because you say it's for charity, even though we know. We know. So that was interesting. Little plot twist, that Sophie's Choice moment from Mon Mothma. That's huge in the character development and what she truly cares about, and how they're going to let that play out. So that's going to be interesting. Ferrex is brought up. Marva's taking some turns for the worse. Her death's going to be tragic. I feel just completely tragic in this series. Like we know she's not going to make it. How she's going to go is just going to be tragic. And then one of the final scenes is Luthen meeting with another mole inside the ISB, little porn star mustache redhead guy. He's telling him all about Dedra and how she's closing in. And then Luthen's like, oh, she's got nothing. She's got nothing. Like, playing it cool. And it's interesting how he's like basically condemned himself to die for this cause, and how his rationale is. Overall, go back to the review of the episode, not just a breakdown of what I thought was cool. More on that and another show I'm on, Holdover Maneuver Podcast. Check that out. Link will be in the description where to find that. It's just this is like the first battle we've had in a while where there's blasters in this series. And it's refreshing to have Star Wars that way. There's no lightsabers and no real battles. It's all a chess game. And it's been super interesting. And this continues that. This was like a Prison Break that was refreshing because it felt new. It felt different, even though Prison Breaks are Prison Breaks. But the way they went about it, the way they slow built it, like you knew it was coming. You knew that they were going to break out of prison. I had prediction that maybe Cyril was going to end up in prison because of him being a creeper with Dedra. But just overall writing, it was good. Like, I hate the choice they made. And that's not bad writing. It's a choice they made I just dislike. So that's why I hated it. But the writing is excellent. I can say that because it made me feel something. It made me have a reaction based on a choice they made. And it wasn't like, oh, we're going to take the comforting route and be lazy. Because that's what I wanted. I wanted lazy writing. I want everyone to survive who I like. And you got to be willing to kill the baby, as I was told in all the classes and tutoring and mentoring I've ever had in writing. You got to be willing to kill the baby and make hard choices. Sorry for that terrible euphemism, but so the writing is just like the way they've written this series has been so good. And this episode was just, it made my heart race watching it. So it was just unexpected. Interesting to see where they go, because the episode as a whole had two main points: the offer to Mon and the prison break, with the revelation of the mole as like a kicker. But the main points were the prison break was a big thing. You got Mon's dilemma, and then they're just like, here's a little tasty morsel, one last crumb on the plate for you. Luthen has a mole, and then the ISB. So it's just like phenomenal writing, great writing. Cinematography's been spot on. Like the stark contrast, white of the prison and how clean it is, and how dirty the work is. Just the way they film everything, and it's like they got these vista shots. It's not all claustrophobic. I have a new favorite shot from this series, a new Star Wars one, where at the night you see the planets instead of like the two suns you always see on Tatooine. This time you got what could be moons or planets close enough glowing in the dark. But you got, I think, 3 or 4 on this. I forget the name of I think it's Narkina 5, or is that the prison name? Whatever it is, wherever Cassian and Melchi are running away from the prison, they long vista shot of the 3 planetary objects. And I was like, that's just a cool shot. That's my new desktop background for a little while. Great episode. It's going to make your heart race. They're building to something big, which is Rogue One. They're building up to a big finale, I feel, because next they have 2 episodes left. So I don't know if they're going to be a story arc or if it's going to be like aftermath episode, then this huge cliffhanger type episode. But I'm intrigued. They're doing such a great job with this series. Book of Boba Fett kind of was like, Star Wars have jumped the shark. Obi-Wan was like, this is nostalgia. I love it. This is just amazing. The show was amazing, but this is just bypassed it. And it's so good, and it's reinvigorating Star Wars love, and that's just perfect. That's what you want. So check it out. Let me know what you think down below. Subscribe, follow along, click the bells, the thumbs up, all the fun stuff. You guys are awesome. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.